Hey everybody, my name's Tony Edwards. I run an IT company called BitSmart, and I'm here today to talk to you about some cybersecurity mistakes that SMEs typically make and ways that you can potentially fix them at little to no cost. Disclaimer, this is the first time I've ever done this sort of thing, so please be gentle, especially at the back. A little bit about me before we get started. So I've loved technology for as long as I can remember. My first computer at the age of 7 or 8 was an Amiga 500. I remember endless nights playing Lemmings and taking it apart, putting it back together and those sorts of things. I have a degree in business and IT, and I've got over 15 years IT industry experience, not just computers, but telecoms and mobiles as well. I've done sales, help desk, and worked myself up to head of IT before COVID happened when I got made redundant, which meant I started my own business. And that business turned 4 just this last Tuesday. And if it wasn't for 3 or 4 special people, that might not have happened, but I'll come back to that a little bit later. Oh, and this year, I've won some awards as well, which has been awesome. But you're not here for that, are you? You're here for the mistakes and things. So, number 1. One of the biggest mistakes that SMEs make is underestimating or misunderstanding the threat landscape. This is a bit of a generalisation, but the majority of small business owners out there, they think their company's too small to be a target. But this is a dangerous misconception. Cyber criminals often see the small business as an easy target. They know that most small businesses out there will lack resource, knowledge, or expertise to defend against attacks. So it's essential for any business to understand the basics of cybersecurity and to be more proactive with their approach as opposed to being reactive. Now, the easiest way to fix this is to outsource it or insource it, however you want to do it, and I'll come on to that a little bit later. But what you can do to get started is read news articles, journals, listen to podcasts, just grow your basic understanding of cybersecurity. Again, like I said, if you don't like reading, podcasts are a great way to consume this type of content because you can put it on when you're walking the dog or in the car. The second mistake that small businesses often make is they neglect training. Cybersecurity awareness training for their employees. They have a tendency, at least the clients, a number of the clients I've seen, they have a tendency to assume that their staff will naturally be cautious. And this isn't the case, unfortunately. The human factor is a significant source of cyber issues, around 85% in fact. Employees will inadvertently click on malicious links, or they'll download encrypted files. And cybersecurity awareness training helps them recognise phishing attempts, understand the importance of strong passwords and multi-factor authentication, and be aware of some of the social engineering tactics that are being used out there right now by cyber criminals. The easiest way to fix this is to implement some sort of awareness training. Typically there is a cost associated to this, but it is less than you might think. I'm talking £3, £4, £5 per user per month. It's not necessarily going to break the bank. And then you just need to monitor it to make sure people are doing the training, or you get your IT person, IT department, outsourced person to do it for you. Number 3, weak passwords. This is a very, very common vulnerability in most small businesses. Typically people will use the same password, or they'll use an easily guessable password. They may also reuse the same password again and again and again, leaving your company's sensitive information in danger. The average password can be reused up to 14 times on average, and the way you can fix this is by encouraging and enforcing the use of strong, unique passwords. Ideally a minimum of 12 characters in length with a level of complexity, so I'm talking about uppercase, lowercase, numbers, symbols. Pass keys, pass phrases are now coming out, so look out for them. I've seen Amazon have started rolling those out this week. Implement a password manager across your estate. These are designed to record all of your passwords, save unique passwords into that database, so you and your staff don't have to remember them. They just have to remember that one master password. And then you want to consider implementing multi-factor authentication everywhere that's possible. This adds an additional layer of security, and when I talk about multi-factor authentication, if you can avoid doing it via text message, do it, because SIM ghosting is a massive thing right now, where people are essentially ghosting your SIM card. They can see what messages you get, and every time an MFA request comes through, they've got the number. This is another common one that I see. How many people get that little notification on Windows saying you've got updates ready, and they think, I'll leave it till the end of the day, or I'll leave it to the end of the week. Cyber criminals will exploit known vulnerabilities within software to gain access to systems. And it's important that these get patched on a regular basis. This isn't just your operating systems, but it's your web browsers, your Office 365, even your antivirus solutions. At the very least, you need to educate the staff to check at least on a weekly basis for updates. If you use Microsoft, if you use Windows, they generally push out updates on a Tuesday. So Tuesday afternoon, go into your Windows update and check. Chances are you'll have some updates to push through. Just wait till the end of the day, push it through before you shut down. Backup. Small businesses may not have formal backup or recovery plans in place. This might mistakenly assume, they might assume that data loss isn't going to happen to them. But data loss can occur for a variety of reasons, not just down to cyber criminals. Hardware failure. I had a hard drive fail on me earlier in the week. I was able to recover my data because I had it backed up elsewhere. Human error is another common factor as well. So to fix this, you need to make sure you've got backup solutions in place. Whether you're backing up your images of your device, or you know where all your critical information is and you're backing those up. Now, if you predominantly use Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace, there are lots of options out there available to back that data up on a regular basis, and like employee training, it's cheap as shit. Finally, on backups, if you do take backups, you need to make sure you test them. You need to make sure that they restore the data that they're backing up, because I see lots of people losing data because they're backing up, but they've never tested that backup, and then when they try to recover that data, they can't because the backup doesn't work. So regularly test your backups. I would suggest at least monthly. Policies and processes is another cybersecurity, I don't want to say mistake, but perhaps a faux pas, something that's generally overlooked. Especially with the smaller business, if you're a 1, 2, 3 man band, chances are most of your security policies are in the back of your head. With no clear and enforceable security policies, employees may not know where your critical information should be saved. They may not understand how they should be handling passwords, or how they handle sensitive information like your financial records. So you should establish formal policies and processes in things like password management, data handling, incident reporting, how they work remotely, especially now in this, how many of us work from home most of the time? Yeah? And there are tons of other security topics. Get some policies drawn up. Make sure they fit the way your business works. And don't forget to communicate and educate your staff if you have them. And if you've never had policies before, that's going to take some time. You are going to have to educate, reinforce, educate, reinforce, until it becomes the norm. Hands up who uses a mobile every day for the work. It's become commonplace, especially since COVID, right? We're on our phones for emails. I was checking my presentation out there on my phone rather than getting my laptop out. And we often overlook the mobile aspect of cybersecurity. We might be pushing through our software updates when they come through, but what other security have you got on your phone? Has anybody got any sort of security solution on their handset? We've got 2 in the room, awesome. Install mobile security apps onto your devices. It shouldn't just be on your laptop or your desktop. Mobiles, tablets are more of a target now than they are. If your IT company provides you with antivirus or some sort of EDR solution for your laptops and desktops, can they provide it for your phones as well? It might cost you another couple of quid a month, but it's going to give you that peace of mind knowing that your mobile devices are somewhat secure as well. SMEs generally don't have in-house IT staff watching what their networks are doing and looking for suspicious things. This results in a delayed detection of security breaches because again, when you're a 1, 2, 3 man business, you're focusing on sales and marketing and all the cool stuff, right? IT's a bit boring, right? So where you can fix this is to install network monitoring tools on your server if you have them. If you're cloud only, you can install them on your endpoints. By endpoint I mean laptops or desktops. Or you can outsource that network monitoring elsewhere. This can help you and your business promptly identify and respond to any potential threats. You all still with me? Hello? Hello? Right, I can talk loud enough, it's fine.
It's back, I think.
There we go. Number 9, missing incident response plan. Should have made that clearer, really, shouldn't I? In the face of a cybersecurity incident, SMEs without an incident response plan they'll start to panic. They don't know what to do, meaning that their responses will be ineffective or incorrect, meaning that it can take longer for them to recover. And the longer a cyber incident takes to recover, the lower the likelihood the business will have of survival effectively, especially in the smaller end of SME. So develop a comprehensive incident response plan, one that outlines the steps to take when a security incident occurs. This should include how you communicate internally with your teams, procedures around isolation, a clear chain of command, and I'm glad the guys from Inceda have just walked in. Penetration testing is a great way of monitoring and planning for an incident. Number 10, we're almost at the end, guys. Cyber threats are continually evolving. New attack techniques emerge on a regular basis. Big businesses have teams of people working on this, and they have a hard time keeping up. So how's a small business like you going to cope? Unfortunately, SMEs typically think they're too small to pay for cybersecurity. They're too small to pay for IT support. They'd rather do it themselves. Am I right? On the whole, I understand. When you start a business with little to no capital, you fake it till you make it. You do much of the work yourself, typically on a shoestring, but there is a time in every business's life when getting expertise in, either from an outsourced perspective or in-house, becomes that necessity. Managed IT services come in all shapes and sizes, and they will include packages designed for the SME. A managed service provider, such as myself, and there are others in the room, will keep your business safe as possible from cyber attack. As well as save you some money, because let's face it, IT people can be expensive. And by outsourcing it, you're getting all of that company's expertise for the fraction of the price of a full-time employee. So, I've got a question for you guys now. How many of you actually scanned the QR code that was on every screen? Did any of you?
I thought it would be 15.
Yes, you're my new best friend. It wasn't, but yeah, it was. QR codes have been, I've seen some news articles recently where people are using QR codes to scam people at thousands of pounds. And yeah, it's just a bit of an education piece. I just want to see if anybody would actually scan it. Kind of disappointed that nobody did, but hey, I'm glad at the same time. If you want to get in touch, if you want to have a chat, I'll be around for another hour or so. You can scan that QR code if you want. It is legitimate, I promise. Or I've got business cards in my bag. I'll happily give you a business card, we can have a chat. Who's up next? Do stick around for the next two speakers. Unfortunately, Jade isn't here because she's unwell, but Charlotte, who's standing in for her, is equally as awesome. But both of these people I met at the very start of my business journey, and they both helped me over the past few years. We definitely get insight. Sorry, Charlotte, I don't have a picture of you, but I have just picked you up massively. At the start of my talk, I mentioned three people helped me directly and indirectly with my business. Ian was one of those three people. I owe him so much, so make sure you hang around both Charlotte and Ian. That's it from me, thank you very much.